The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Happy Halloween, part 2. And ladies and gentlemen, I might be dressed as Rex Ryan, but we're talking about Robert Saleh at the beginning of the show. He did an interview with the New York Post and talked about his time with the Jets. Jets insider Nick Faria will break it down with us, and we'll talk about the latest on the trade deadline. It's the Jake Asman Show, Football Friday. Let's hit it and get it started.
How much worse can it get for Aaron Glenn's Jets team? Can he salvage this season and give us something to be excited about? Every step of the journey, the Jake Asman Show will have you covered, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Happy Rex Oween. Before we get started, let's pause because
let's go to eat a damn snack.
I got to get a snack. Shout out to Rex Ryan. I was Fat Rex on the first show today. Today, on the afternoon show, I'm going with Skinny Rex Ryan. That's right. As Rex lost weight, the Jets lost more games. Fat Rex for life. All right, let's say hello to our guy, Nick Faria. He covers the Jets for JetsXFactor.com. Nick, happy Halloween. Appreciate you joining.
Happy Halloween, Rex Ryan. And I got to tell you, you're looking great. You're looking thin. You're looking lean. I hope the team is able to win some games now that you've lost all this weight.
I appreciate that. It'd be nice if, Aaron Glenn could pull a me and win some football games, I went to the AFC Championship game in my first year. This team's 1-7.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly, and let's be fair to Rex Ryan. He had a really good team for those first couple of years too.
That he most certainly did. We're going to start though, not with Rex, not with Aaron Glenn. We're going to start with Robert Saleh. Why? Well, he did an interview with Mark Cannizzaro of the New York Post. Here's the headline: The Jets robbed Robert Saleh of his signature joy. How he found it again. And for those wondering why Robert Saleh is being interviewed in the middle of the season. On Sunday, the Giants are hosting the 49ers. So it will be Saleh's first trip back to MetLife. He's not playing the Jets, playing the Giants. But that's why Cannizzaro caught up with Saleh. And I went through the interview, right? And there was nothing in the interview that Saleh said that I thought was unfair or he didn't take any cheap shots at the Jets or Woody Johnson. None of that. He said he was obviously hurt that he was fired. He said he wanted to finish the job that he started. He said that obviously, despite the bad taste in his mouth, how it ended, he said he was forever grateful for the opportunity. He said he doesn't look at his Jets tenure like it was a negative in his life. He called it an unbelievable experience. Honestly, my issue is not with anything Saleh said. My issue is with the headline and this narrative that is out there, Nick, that the Jets somehow wronged Robert Saleh. The Jets robbed him of his joy? No, Robert. You losing robbed us of joy. You were 20-36 as the head coach of the New York Jets. Should you have been fired 5 games in at 2-3? Obviously, in hindsight, the answer to that one is no. But can we act like Robert Saleh was a bad coach? Because he was. He was a phenomenal defensive coach. An overall head coach, he wasn't good enough. He was 20-36. He was 5-14 against the AFC East. He was 1-2 after bye weeks. He was 4-13 in December/January combined. So I understand that he got a tough break with the Aaron Rodgers injury. I understand he shouldn't have been fired. But, man, like the media running with this narrative that, the Jets did wrong to Robert Saleh. Stop it, man. We already knew he was a great defensive coach. It shouldn't surprise anyone that he's having success with the Niners when he's the DC for a team that he's not the head coach over.
I will say, so I like Cannizzaro at the Post. I think he's a great writer. I think this is more, as an editor-in-chief of myself, I think this is more of the editor knowing what headline to use to garner plenty of clicks and plenty of outrage. And I think in that regard, the New York Post did a great job getting people to talk about it. But listen, I think that it's pretty clear. The Robert Saleh era was a disaster. It was a failure. And it really started from the very beginning. The passion, the intensity that you saw from Robert Saleh on the sideline with the San Francisco 49ers, it wasn't there when he was with the Jets. It was very morose. It was very quiet. He was a player's coach, but to a fault at times. He tried to be their buddy more than actually being a head coach. And I think there's a clear distinction there overall. I do think when you look at it, the old crux of it, I think he's going to come out better having been through that, because he'll understand how important the quarterback position is, how important getting the offensive line is right, and how important getting healthy and making sure your training camps are not just destroying you from a team building perspective. All of that has to be taken into account in his career. But the way that I look at it, the Jets' run with Robert Saleh really is chalked down to one decision. And I do believe, I do think he gets not too much flack, but I think we have a misconception of what the Jets really did in his tenure. He starts out with 4 wins to begin his first season. Wasn't really
four wins in 2021.
That's fine. The next year, 2022, it's a 3-win jump. They get to 7 wins, but it's completely masked because the team was 7-4 and they lost their final 6 games. People thought Robert Saleh should have been fired based on that final run alone, but he didn't have a quarterback. He didn't have a quarterback that he could trust. Zach Wilson was a disaster. Mike White couldn't stay healthy. All those things go into that account. But he still won 3 more games than the prior year. It was the first time they'd won 7 games in, 2-3 seasons. So you saw the incremental improvements. The problem is, instead of sort of going through that trajectory and building it up slowly and making sure each mark was met, he didn't do that. He tried to cut corners. He went after Aaron Rodgers. He brought in Nathaniel Hackett. He brought in a coaching staff that really wasn't good to begin with on the offensive side and said, we're going to cut the corners because we want Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron's going to make us a championship team with his presence alone. And then
to be fair, though, that was the right move because they missed on Zach Wilson. That goes back to Joe Douglas and that draft selection.
And then he got hurt. But that's the thing. When you try to cut corners instead of developing your guys. And with Zach Wilson, it was just the mistake of the pick. But when you whiff on that and you try to make up for it by just swinging for the fences, there are going to be times where you whiff. And the Jets whiffed, and that's why Robert Saleh lasted a year and 5 games afterwards. It's unfortunate.
He got hurt. Rodgers getting hurt changed the entire timeline, because if he's healthy in 2023 and they make the playoffs, he still might be the head coach. If Robert Saleh and that team with Rodgers miss the playoffs, let's say they finish 9-8 and lose out on a tiebreaker, they might have cleaned house and had Mike Vrabel coaching them going into last season instead, and everything is different. We'll never know because the injury completely changed things. What to me is really annoying, though, is like this idea they did wrong by him when they weren't patient with him. He was 4-13, 7-10 at 7-10. They were patient letting him start 2024. And if you're Woody Johnson, you can't pull the plug 5 games in. I'll admit, I thought Olbrich would have been ready to be a head coach. That was the narrative about him. And obviously he was way in over his head and he was horrific. But Woody's got to know that. That's on the owner to not impede the way he did. So I'm not saying that Saleh didn't have, things clearly go against him with the Rodgers injury and dealing with Woody and all that. But some of his coaching hires, 100%, that's on him. The inability to truly handle the quarterback situation properly, that's on him. Like the in-game stuff, like not knowing when to pull the plug, like not knowing how to even police the locker room, not allowing guys to wear the Mike White shirts for what that could do for Zach Wilson's confidence. And there's just things that he was a really good defensive coach. The defense was obviously excellent at times under his tenure, but it was time to move on. We could argue whether or not he should have been fired in season. I think the answer is obviously no, he should not have been. But we also could say he wasn't a good coach.
That's the general crux of the argument. When people say the Jets did Robert Saleh wrong, they say that because they fired him in season. If they fired him after the 2023 season or fired him after, say, the entire season last year, it's a different conversation because he was given 4 years, if that's the case, to fix it, and he never did. The fact that it was given 5 games, and it wasn't even like they were 0-5 or 1-4, like some of these teams that change coaches early on do. They were 2-3. They were 2-3 coming off London. That is very, very rare. A win against Buffalo the very next week not only would have put them in the number one spot in the division, which was a winnable game, but also would have put them in a much different trajectory. You can win at a 2-3 mark. You can make the playoffs if you're 2-3. You can't do it really much if you're 2-4. And to make that move, I think that's where that argument is. It's also not really a fair argument because you should eventually say, okay, well, just finish out the 2024 season, or don't even bother bringing him back for 2024. Just fire him after 2023.
Yeah, I just think it's ridiculous that you look at how it ended and people just talk about that and then completely gloss over the fact they absolutely collapsed in 2022. They were 6-3 and 7-4 and finished on a 6-game losing streak. 2023, they collapsed. Saleh's teams in the first half of games, terrible. That never got any better. He was 4-13 combined in December and January, right? Like with time to prepare, extra rest, horrible. I just think it's a lot of revisionist history to act like, the Jets robbed Robert Saleh of his joy. The guy that we were sold on, that energy on the sidelines, all that, we never saw that. Now, he was asked about that in the article, and he said there just wasn't enough, positive plays to go crazy about. But then Saleh also admitted he wished he took more control over the defense during his time because he feels way more connected to everything as a coordinator once again. And he basically implied if he ever gets a chance to be a head coach again, he's going to still be calling defense, which he should. Now, I know after the Bengals game in 2022, he did take a bigger role on helping put together the game plans every week with Ulbrich. That was told to me by a source. But he was not the play caller like Ulbrich was. And then obviously we saw when Ulbrich had to become the head coach and the defensive coordinator, he wasn't ready to do both roles at the same time last year.
I think there's going to be a lot of less. Saleh's going to get another head coaching job. And from what I've heard around the league, that could happen as early as after this season. The job that he's done with the 49ers defense, the respect that he has around the league. There's some people that think he's going to get a head coaching job this offseason. And it would not surprise me one bit. The question: you
better have a quarterback already in place if you're going to hire him.
And that's the thing. If your team's got a quarterback in place, Robert Saleh makes a lot of sense. It's why he was a finalist for the Jacksonville Jaguars job. It was between him and Liam Cohen. They had Trevor Lawrence. The Jaguars essentially thought, hey, this could be our guy, and he can run the defense, fix our defense, and be a fundamental force in the locker room. But they went with the offensive guy. And I will say the Jaguars made the right decision because I will always choose the young offensive mind over a defensive caliber head coach. That's always the way that I structure it, and I always believe is the best way to move it forward. But for Saleh, he's going to get another head coaching job. He has to learn from the mistakes that he made during his tenure with the Jets. But very, very clearly, the failures in New York under him were not just because of the organization. He has plenty of blame to go around, plenty of blame to take. And it's really unfortunate.
It's just annoying when I see headlines how the Jets robbed him of his jet. Stop it, man. They didn't win enough. He was in his 4th year.
That's headline 101, baby. The New York Post does such a great job with that. They want to bring in viewers, and the only way you bring in viewers now is you piss people off.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're tuned in. We're talking with Nick Faria from JetX. We open with the Saleh stuff because it's new, but the trade deadline is fast approaching. It's on Tuesday, so we're going to cover that. But first, let me pause and explain to everyone the raffle prize today. Jets Legends jersey. You choose. Do you want a Joe Namath jersey? Do you want a Joe Klecko jersey? Do you want a Curtis, my favorite Martin jersey? Do you want a Wayne Corbett jersey? Do you want a Darrelle Revis jersey? Or do you want a late, great Nick Mangold jersey? You choose. The Jet Legend, we send it to you. That is up for grabs at the end of the show. And we're going to start with a bang here. The Hamburger already gifted 20 memberships. Now, why did he give 20? Him and I had a bet. He said the Jets are going to go 0-17. I said, you're out of your mind. I said, all right, Jets go 0-17. I will pay you $300. But if the Jets win a game, you got to give 20 memberships so the community can benefit. And the Hamburger is a man of his word. So, ladies and gentlemen, a 20 spot has been gifted by the man himself.
Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets!
Bang! All right, let's say hello to the Hamburger who even called in. Hamburger, you are a man of your word. For that, we are grateful.
Yeah, no problem, man. Of course, man. I'm not going to welch on my bets. I had a rough week this week. I had a lot of schooling. I had to teach a class. Very busy at work, so I couldn't really get on and watch the show much at all this week at all. So this is really the first time I'm getting a chance to listen and hear what you got to say. I mean, I paid my 100. It is what it is. I don't think that they're gonna win much more, man. It was nice to see a win out of the team, but in my mind, it's still fool's gold, buddy. Still fool's gold. But we'll see. I hope they can rattle off a few more wins. But if it's not done consistently at all, and we just go back into the turmoil that we had, for me, it's the same position. I'd still be out on him at this moment. So unless things really turn around and we see a difference, my decision to not support Aaron Glenn is still where it is. Unfortunately, I didn't want to be this way, but we'll see, man. We still have what do we have? 10 games left, 9 games left. We'll see what happens.
I'll tell you what.
With that,
I'll tell you, Hamburger. It's funny how once you left the watch party early, the Jet comeback immediately began. If you had stayed at the watch party on Sunday, you and your son, you wouldn't have been out $100.
I had a great time, man. My son had a lot of fun. He enjoyed watching the game out with people, but we had some things to do. We had to go out to dinner. But we watched the game on the phone on the way home. But it was a nice win, man. It was nice to see them come back. It's something what we haven't seen in a while. We'll see what happens, man. We still have a half a season to play, and if they can rattle off and get 5 wins out of the season, I know. Listen, we're asking for a lot with 5 wins with this team, but we'll see, man. If they pull off 4 or 5 wins in the next couple games that we have for the end of the season, I'll be all right with taking Glenn back for next year and see what he can do. But I still, in my mind, man, I'm having a problem thinking of him picking our quarterback. It's a tough pill to swallow, even if we win 5 games. I don't know, but we'll see, man. A happy Halloween to everybody.
Hamburger, you're the best. Happy Halloween to you, and appreciate you calling in and paying off your debt.
Absolutely, Jake. Hey, Nick, Jake, enjoy, bud.
Let's go. The Hamburger.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
On Halloween, check it in. Love that. Appreciate you, Burger. He's in for 20. Let me shout out Matt L., who won the Clyde Frazier jersey this week. He just gifted 5. He's also in our raffle at the end of the show.
Who wanna fly with them?
If you got a membership from Matt, make sure you say thanks. Reminder, on Halloween, we did this on the first show. If you call in today in a costume, you'll get a raffle ticket. So a little incentive to call in when we open up the phone lines. Nick, let's talk about the latest with this trade deadline. The Jets, of course, have already made the Michael Carter trade. Now, you like that move a lot from a Jet standpoint. You didn't like it from an Eagle standpoint, which I find fascinating. How come you didn't like it from a Philly standpoint? You didn't give up anything, and you took it. And if Michael Carter is healthy, we know he could be a really good player.
So it's kind of two-pronged. First off, the Jets get out of Michael Carter's contract, which was going to be an albatross of sorts and something you just didn't want to deal with. The earlier you move on, the better. I think it's somewhere around $11 to $12 million are now off the books in 2026 and 2027.
They were going to be able to cut him, though, anyway, and be out of it for only a $2 million hit.
Sure, but you also now get essentially 8-9 games with John Mechie, who's a prospect at best at wide receiver. You throw him in there, and you move up a couple spots in the draft. I have no problem with that. For Philadelphia, I was more perplexed because Vic Fangio the day before said he wants to keep Cooper DeJean in the slot. It does not make sense to bring Michael Carter in and then move DeJean outside when DeJean is already an elite player inside. So I thought the move itself was a waste. I'm not very high on Michael Carter with what I've seen all year. And again, this is kind of the dual aspect of being a reporter, where I've seen Michael Carter play not just here during games with the Jets, but also in practice. And he has not played well all year. And you can say it's because of the injury and he's coming back, but he's just a player that has not really been able to tackle well. The coverage skills are very, very poor. If I'm Philadelphia, I look at that trade as a risk that you didn't really need to make. If they wanted an outside receiver, go after Jarvis Brownlee when he was made available from the Tennessee Titans. He's not, and now he's with the Jets, and it essentially pushed Michael Carter into their hands. And I'm really interested to see how Vic Fangio is going to use the Carter piece along with DeJean, because the way that I see things now, it just doesn't really make much sense.
Very interesting. Very interesting. We'll see. I mean, give us your breakdown on John Mechie from what you saw from him.
Yeah, listen, there's not much, because in Philadelphia's offense, if your name isn't A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, or Devontae Smith, you're not getting the football. It really is that simple. But with Mechie, I think the injuries that he's gone through, the personal health problems that he's gone through, the fact that he's still in this league is a tip of the cap to himself alone. He's got good speed. I like his route running. There needs to be some consistency overall with his hands. He's a little too thin for my liking as an outside receiver, but he's also a player that I believe, if he's given the proper tools to be successful, if he's put in an offense that highlights his skill set, I do think he can be a dependable player. In Houston, there were 3 other receivers that he would have to compete with. In Philadelphia, he was never going to get an opportunity. With the Jets, I see it as a legitimate possibility that he can make an impact solely because who's their guy that they're throwing to? Josh Reynolds is on IR. Garrett Wilson's hurt, potentially could be coming back. We don't know how he's going to be at 100% or not. The receivers right now are Tyler Johnson, Allen Lazard, and Arian Smith. There is room here. There is room for John Mechie to come in and actually have an impact, a positive impact for this offense for the remainder of the year.
Look, he was a second-round pick, so there is talent there. Anyone who watched college football during that time saw him go out there and make a ton of plays on a really good Alabama team. So I'm with you. There's, to me, no downside to it because you have nothing to lose. And at 1-7, I like the dart throw that Muji and Glenn are taking on a guy with talent that has never truly had an opportunity to play. And if he has any talent and can play, he'll get on the field with the Jets because you brought up, what they're looking at in the wide receiver room.
I gotta be honest, I really like what I've seen from Muji for the most part this season. I mean, the Brandon Stevens signing, everyone wanted his head for it, but it looks phenomenal right now. He's playing the best quarterback in football. All those things have to be taken into account. And, the extension of Jamian Sherwood hasn't looked good. The Justin Fields signing hasn't looked good. But the job that he did with Stevens, the fact that he's been able to make some very smart trades, the Jawan Briggs deal has looked very, very good. Harrison Phillips has been fine. Jarvis Brownlee has been a godsend for this secondary. I look at what Muji has done in this first year, and I'm very encouraged, more encouraged with Muji than I am with Aaron Glenn. And it's a surprise because I think if you polled all fans and analysts, they would think that Aaron Glenn would be the one that would be instilling confidence, not the guy that was kind of shunted to the side in team introductions. It really is interesting how it worked out that way.
Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Again, if you call in during the show today in a costume, you get entered in our raffle. And for those who haven't been watching the show the last few days, in honor of the great Nick Mangold, our top prize in the weekly raffle on Tuesday will be a signed Nick Mangold football. We have a signed Wayne Corbett football and a signed Justin Fields jersey as our third prize in the weekly series, giving away a Jets Legends jersey at the end. And how about our guy, Frank P? He says, Jake, thanks for the merch. You're the best. Frank, you're the man. You deserve all the merch for everything that you do for our community. And you got 10 more raffle tickets, Frank.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Hell yeah. Chad says, happy Halloween. Chad, happy Halloween. This one's from Tom, who's in the raffle for 5. Happy Halloween, fellas. Jets should dress up as a winning franchise this year. Well, I'll tell you what. Right now, they're a winning franchise. If you look at their most recent game, Nick Faria.
They're on the board. They're on the board. And it was a great win. I haven't been on since the win, but it was a great win, a great comeback for the offense. Offense put up 500 yards. I mean, that is insane. Tenure Angstrand has done a really, really good job with this group. The offensive line was phenomenal. Breece Hall, Isaiah Williams coming through on special teams. This was a very positive step for the organization.
1,000%. And also, like, they just needed a win in the worst way, because if they didn't get that win, it's 2 weeks of one and done talk and 0-17 talk. And I mean, look, they won. Great. I really think how they come out after the bye says a lot about this staff. You know, the Jets record after the bye week, the last 9 years, it's 1-8. They need to come out ready to go against a team they should beat, with the Jets being a favorite at home. Jets opened up on FanDuel Sportsbook as a 1.5-point favorite. FanDuel placed a bet on everything, including your New York Jets. This has to be a game the Jets win. Otherwise, it's just it's just an outlier performance. And you won a game that, okay, great. You won a game. Awesome. But like, it didn't mean anything. You have to go out there and now beat Cleveland.
I agree. And the Browns stink. They just stink. Dylan Gabriel has looked absolutely awful. And I don't think it's much of a contest. The offense stinks. The defense is really good. If you don't turn the football over, you should put yourself in a position to win.
Super chat from Wild Chew. We all know who Rob Saleh is. Joy. Force Zach and AR on him. Nick, if we get the first pick, I'll gladly trade it for your owner. Y'all take Woody. Look, I think it's unfair to say they forced AR on him.
No,
that was an organization.
Just as much.
He didn't want Zach Wilson to be his quarterback going into 2023. He wanted Aaron Rodgers because he saw a team that was 6-3 with putrid quarterback play that finished 7-10. So that's not fair. The Wilson pick, look, there's some people that are connected to the Jets who will say, oh, that was more, Douglas and Rex Hogan. They were the advocates for Zach Wilson. Saleh and LaFleur wanted to run it back with Sam and, trade out. And who knows, man? I think it's convenient that stuff comes out when those guys are already out of a job because it makes them look better. But ultimately, the Zach Wilson pick, for whatever reason, for whoever was responsible for ultimately making it, it didn't work. Bringing in Aaron Rodgers, that didn't rob anyone of joy. That provided joy for Robert Saleh. That gave him a chance to save his job, and unfortunately, he got hurt.
It's the unfortunate side of the NFL. It's unfortunate because the dueling fates of teams that lose out on their starting quarterback, it's pretty stressful, and it can turn on a dime. I remember 2020 when Philadelphia drafted Jalen Hurts. Everyone and their mother hated the draft pick because they had just won the division with Carson Wentz, and everyone wanted Howie Roseman's head, and they won 4 games that year. Everyone thought the team was going nowhere. They were done. It was going to be a very long rebuild. And it turns out Jalen Hurts was the greatest pick Howie Roseman ever made. And it really isn't that close. The duality of fate in the National Football League is cruel, and it unfortunately costs a lot of people their jobs. In the case of Robert Saleh, the decision to bring in Rodgers only sealed his fate.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Remember, you call in a costume and you earn a raffle ticket. I want to get to this one here from Ryed. He says, my girlfriend surprised me with tickets to Jets Browns. Apparently she bought these in August. How do I tell her not to buy Jets tickets that far in advance next time? Probably paid much more than value. Probably 100%. I thought you were saying that she bought you these tickets, because she wanted to give you a full Halloween horror show. Jets Browns at MetLife next week. But hang in there, Ryed. Hopefully the Jets play well and they get a win for you. But I mean, Nick, I'm sure you saw it. The Jets having the audacity to increase season ticket prices despite a 1-7 record and a playoff drought that's the longest in professional sports. An absolute joke.
I don't really want to comment overall because covering the team and everything, but it really just comes down to if you want to increase the fan experience and you want to build some cash with the fan base, I always feel it's best to help them out and sort of understand where everyone's coming from in the frustration. I'll leave it at that.
It's a joke. I mean, there's no other way to put it. All right. We're going to get to your calls coming up, but let's talk about the trade deadline now. Get your take on it. We went through the Michael Carter deal. There was a report from Rap Sheet on Amazon last night that teams are continuing to call the Jets about Breece and Quinnen. Rich Cimini saying that he thinks it takes at least a day 2 pick for the Jets to even consider trading Breece Hall. So that's a second or a third. Your thoughts on the status of Breece and Quinnen? Let's start there.
Yeah, I think, dating back to the offseason on this exact show, I said that if Breece Hall was going to get moved, it was going to happen at the trade deadline, and the team would have to have a really, really bad record in order for them to do that. And here we are at 1-7, and now we're considering if Breece Hall is going to be moved or not. The thing that the Jets have to ask themselves is how long is this retool, this rebuild going to take? Is this going to be a 1-year thing where they get the quarterback and they're competitive and they're in the playoff hunt right away? Or is this a case where this is going to be multiple years of struggles and trying to build the proper process to making this a playoff team? That's a lot of questions they have to ask themselves right now. And if that's a longer answer where they're pushing off 2027, 2028, then it makes no sense to give Breece Hall a long-term extension. If they're looking to improve drastically with a rookie quarterback, then it makes sense to keep Breece Hall going. I love what I've seen from him this season. He's averaging the most yards per carry that he has had since his rookie year. In his rookie year, he could have won Offensive Rookie of the Year if he did not get hurt. He's a really good player, and if you are a team that is struggling to find talent, you do not trade really good players. Same goes for Quinnen Williams. I don't think at this juncture, I don't think they're going to trade him because the way that I see it and the way that I have seen the entire league right now, I think we're going to have a very dud-like deadline where all these big names are being teased about potentially being moved, and none of them get moved because the asking price is way over the top.
I do not want to trade Breece Hall unless I'm getting a second round pick, even a third. I got to think about it.
The cutoff. You get a third for Breece Hall. That's more than the comp pick that you would eventually get if he hits the open market.
But I can't even get that comp pick till 2027, and there's no guarantee I get it because the Jets, I think, are going to spend money this offseason.
I'm not debating that at all. I completely agree with that thought process. What I'm saying is, if he hits the open market, the comp pick would not be a third. It would probably be a fourth or a fifth overall. In the case of the Jets, it would make sense to franchise tag him or give him a long-term deal, probably a little bit less than what James Cook got with the Buffalo Bills, and then move on from there. A lot can happen over the next couple of days, but the way that I see it right now with what I've seen and heard from the Jets, it doesn't really look like Breece Hall is they're trying to sell Breece Hall as fast as humanly possible. They're going to wait on a good deal. If they don't get it, he's going to be on the team and they're going to move forward with that. If they get an offer they can't refuse, well, then that changes the conversation.
Yeah, I personally would probably still not trade Breece, even if I got a third, if I could sign him long term. See, that's what I don't know with the Jets in the situation. Have they even entertained the idea of talking to Breece Hall's agent during this bye week about what he would want for a contract extension? Do they have any intention of even offering him some sort of contract extension? Do they just want to use the franchise tag on him, which I looked up before the show today, Nick? We talked about this on my morning show with Fireman Ed today. That'd be like $16 million. I think that's a little too much for Breece. But if I could get him to the James Cook contract around 11, 12 million AAV, I think I would do that. You're going to have a rookie quarterback in here next year. Breece Hall helps that rookie quarterback not have to do it all by himself. I want to keep him.
I agree. He's young. The yards per carry, the carry total is not as large as some of these other running backs when they were 24, 25. Still a very good player. And if you are building a team, even if it's at the running back position, you do not get rid of good players. You just don't get rid of good players because it only exasperates some of the problems that you are having.
Look, and as far as Quinnen Williams, I'm not against necessarily trading him, but I think this is an offseason conversation. I think if you trade him in the offseason, you might have more teams in on him and you could get more. If someone's giving me a first, fine. That'd be a difference. Like, I would understand taking it. I don't think that offer is there, so I would not move Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, I don't think you move him either, quite frankly, unless he asks for a trade. And it goes back to that same point. Quinnen Williams is the Jets' best defensive player. He's had a very good season this year. Why am I getting rid of a good player to open up another hole on my team that I have to fill? It doesn't add up if you're trying to build a winner. If you're trying to build a winner, you build around him. You add talent to his skill set. They haven't really done that. They didn't really do that with Joe Douglas. They kind of just threw darts at a wall throughout his entire career and said, okay, your 2022 running mate at defensive tackle is going to be Quentin Jefferson and Al Woods and this and that and this and that. It's not conducive to success. You want to surround your great players with really good ones and young ones as well. And you trade Quinnen Williams, you're starting from scratch along the defensive line again, and you don't need to. You don't need to do that. I don't think he gets traded. They do have to examine his contract. They got to restructure it, rework it around. But I don't see any logical sense for getting rid of either of these guys unless you are getting multiple first-round picks, particularly for Quinnen Williams, that is higher than pick 20. If you're not getting anything higher than pick 20, then what the hell are you doing?
I'm with you. Now, this is apparently what Albert Breer wrote today in his, trade deadline insider piece on Sports Illustrated's website. Brer apparently suggested that the Jets are not willing to move Will McDonald, but they're open to move Jermaine Johnson. Quote, the team has no plans to move McDonald, but is listening on Jermaine Johnson. Johnson has a year left on his deal. It sounds like New York wants a second-round pick for him. This, to me, doesn't make any sense. I'd be open to moving Will McDonald for a second in a second. To me, he may not be the best scheme fit. He's a guy that only has, 3 sacks all year. One of them finally came in this game against Cincinnati. He had 2 in the opener. He hasn't done much at all. I like Will McDonald, but if I could get a second for him, I'm in on doing that, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay both McDonald and Jermaine. And guess what? Jermaine Johnson, to me, is the better player. He's a better leader as well. I don't think it's a coincidence the Jet defense has looked a lot better the last 3 games overall since Jermaine Johnson has been back. So this surprises me, especially because Jermaine Johnson said to you guys, right, that he spoke with the front office and they basically said, okay, so tell us about the conversation you had with Jermaine Johnson.
I broke it down with him. I said, what does that tweet mean? What were you trying to say? And he goes, I was given guarantees. I was given assurances from the front office. They want me here and I want to be here. And that tells me that he's not getting moved. Now, if that were to happen, that means it sounds like the Jets would be walking back on their word. It would be a terrible look. I do not see the Jets moving Jermaine Johnson at all. Because, again, from what he told me and me specifically, he was told it doesn't look like he's getting moved. And if that's the case, I don't think either of these players are getting traded away anytime soon.
I would not trade Jermaine Johnson for anything unless it was just an offer so insane you have to do it. The Jamal Adams deal, like something like that.
I mean, the thing is this, you're hearing every name under the sun: Trey Hendrickson, Max Crosby, Jermaine Johnson. All these guys are on the trade block. Every guy's being discussed. That doesn't mean they're getting moved. Like, seriously, like we've had conversations about A.J. Brown for 3 weeks now. And it's, rival teams around the league believe that A.J. Brown could be had for the right price. And there's nothing to the report other than other teams would like to see A.J. Brown off the Philadelphia Eagles. That's all it is. Jermaine Johnson's a really good player, a really good edge rusher. But are the Jets going to get something for him that's quality enough to essentially talk themselves into a deal? I don't think so, at least not right now. And the way that I see it, every big-name player that's being brought up, I don't think is going to get moved. I would be shocked if some of these big-name guys get moved, because it sounds like all of this is just people talking around the league. What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? And reporters running with it. There's really no substance right now that I see that tells me that these massive players are about to get shipped. I think we're looking – I really do believe we're going to be looking at another dud of a deadline, because this isn't what the NFL is. The trade deadline is not what it is in the NBA, Major League Baseball, or even the NHL. It's just not that big.
You give me a second rounder for Will McDonald, I'd trade him in a second, though. I would.
I wouldn't, but I would understand if a team did, because I do believe if you put him in a rotation, how he's supposed to be run, I think he could be a very transcendent, very important player.
Well, it's like Bryce Huff with Saleh, right? And all of a sudden he's back to being the Bryce Huff we saw with the Jets. I think McDonald's similar. I don't think he's ever going to be great against the run. They sold us on coaching. It hasn't made a huge difference. They don't trust him out there on a lot of running downs anyway, if you look at the splits.
Yep.
I'll take a second. And here's also my thought process, right? Everything the Jets do this offseason should be about quarterback and should be about surrounding the quarterback with the infrastructure he needs to be successful, right? And if the Jets win a couple games here and say they don't have the number 1 pick, or they're outside the top 2, but Tennessee is at 2 and the Jets are at 4, and they need to move up to get in front of, let's say, Miami, so they could get one of the quarterbacks they love, that extra second-round pick could be the ammunition I need to make that move. And guess what? I still would have my own picks to then wheel and deal with. So, to me, having ammunition to move up, to be able to get a receiver in the draft, to be able to do whatever it takes to get the right quarterback and right talent around the quarterback is more important to me to Will McDonald, who is a nice player, but he's not an all-around player. And I already have that in Jermaine Johnson, who I'd want to extend.
Again, I just don't think either player gets moved, because they don't have enough edge rushers right now on this roster.
I agree. I also think no one's offering you a second rounder for McDonald. I'd be shocked.
There's not a single thing. And I don't think they would get a second-round pick for Jermaine Johnson either. Seriously, I don't think I think a lot of this is just people trying to talk up the NFL trade deadline. And once again, it turns into being a dud. If Michael Carter is the biggest name that gets moved at this deadline, I wouldn't be shocked because this is what normally happens. It's very rare to see an Amari Cooper-like player get traded at the deadline or a Von Miller get moved. You don't normally see this. And it's why I have a very hard time believing that that's going to happen this season. With all the big names and everyone talking, no one's given legitimate conversations about teams that are actually in and legitimately in on some of these bigger players.
All right, let me get you out of here with this then, Nick. Do the Jets make another trade before this deadline on Tuesday? And if so, call your shot. Which player gets traded?
I think the easy one to make, and I do stress easy one. Now that they have John Mechie, Garrett Wilson's supposed to come back. Alan Lazard to Pittsburgh seems almost too good to be true.
I'll drive him to the airport.
And I do believe if I were a betting man of what trade would happen, I think it would be Alan Lazard. Now, maybe a couple weeks ago I would have said Quincy Williams, but with Jamie Sherwood getting benched and us not really knowing exactly what happened, you kind of have to assume that they're going to rely on Quincy Williams for the remainder of the year. I don't think Quinnen gets moved. I don't think Breece Hall gets moved. Michael Carter was always kind of the guy that you thought could get moved in that instance if the right price was made. So I don't think there are going to be many moves talked about. But one I do think that is just a little too easy to predict is Alan Lazard going to Pittsburgh because the Steelers need receiver help. There's not a lot of teams willing to give up quality starting receivers. And Alan Lazard's got his connection with Aaron Rodgers that should be able to keep his career going for at least a few more weeks.
Nick Shine writes in, somebody say airport ride. Nick Shine, well played. All right, Nick Faria, appreciate you. Happy Halloween, and we will talk soon, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Jake.
Jets reporter Nick Faria with us there in his weekly spot. All right, the Jets have a win. Normally on Fridays, we have our Bites and Breakdown segment with Ariel Nash. But what food could she be breaking down over the bye week? Let's find out right now.
Olive oil sports, she's the queen of the line. Football and flavor, she's cooking up hot. You love the Jets, you'll love her too. She's got a touchdown recipe just for you.
Ariel, the Jets have a win.
Oh, yeah. Jets win.
Let's go. So, okay, it's the bye week. I mean, how could you break down a food item related to the Jets' opponent if they're on the bye week?
Well, we got winner chicken dinner.
Raising Cane's. Yes.
You know, this is the one thing I do love about being out west is eating copious amounts of Cane's chicken. Jets win. Jets. Jets. Told you all. Did I not say it?
You have picked them every week, though, so you were due.
Okay, wait. Here's the thing. I picked them this week, and they won. So
okay, you're
undefeated
over your last game picking them.
It was such an amazing win. Literally, it did not feel like an outlier win to me. Like I had every single person I know texting me, congratulating me, high fives. It was like, I don't know. Just felt different. I was so proud. I was like, AG, here we go. Like it felt like improvement, not a random win.
Did you think they were going to win the whole time, even at the end with Flacco having the ball in his hands and they're almost at midfield?
I was like staring at my screen, like, don't do it, Flacco. Don't do it. Don't do it. And they didn't. I was like, oh my gosh, immediately called my dad. I'm like screaming, so excited. Did I think yes, I thought they were going to win, but I was holding my breath for the last second. I was like, oh my gosh, don't do it. I can't have it happen.
Now, as far as the Raising Cane's order, because I lived in Houston for almost 6 years, so I had Cane's all the time, usually on Sundays to help me get over my post-Jets lose in devastating fashion, depression.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is your go-to Cane's order? Did you get the Caniac combo?
Caniac combo? No, that's a little too much. I get the box combo. So I get
come on. You got to have the full 6 tender experience.
It's just too much for me. I can't handle that. But I am big on protein and getting my protein in. So I ate 2 before this because it's all I've eaten all day. Save this for you guys for the look. But yeah, I get the 4. And then I also, do you know Dave's Hot Chicken?
I've had Dave's before. Yep.
I love Dave's. I like hot chicken a lot more, but it's like 15, 20 minutes away. So I was like, it's a little far. It's going to get cold. But I try to get the protein, but 6 is too much. Like I can't. I'm very short, actually. I'm 4'8". So
really?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because people like don't see my height, and then after like a while, I'll like be like zooming or whatever, and then I like walk in, they're like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And I'm like, "Hi."
I love that for you. Now,
And
cane sauce, for
yes,
those who have not had it, describe Raisin cane sauce, because I will argue my favorite condiment is the
yeah,
Raisin cane sauce.
no, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, it's like I feel like I don't know how like you would describe. It's like one of those special sauces, like kind of like Chick-fil-A, but extremely like savory. Like there's no sweetness in it, so it's like any type of special sauce, like Big Mac sauce or something, but 10 times better. It's so good.
Love it. All right, and
Yeah.
here's a veteran tip for you if you don't know this.
Tell me.
Sub out the coleslaw and get either an extra Texas toast or get extra fries.
So I always sub out the coleslaw, but I get 2 sauces because I need to eat. I like love sauce with all my food, so I hate the coleslaw there. That is the one thing I don't like at Cane's because I love coleslaw, but there's this like I don't know, kind of.
I just don't like coleslaw, so I get extra fries usually.
You don't like any coleslaw?
Not a coleslaw person.
I like a savory coleslaw without the mayo, where you like just do like olive oil, apple cider vinegar, that and mustard. So good.
Olive oil. I mean,
Olive oil. I
all
really
over it.
feel like I have like quite the obsession with olive oil. I use it in so much. Like I dump it on every single thing.
If the Jets go 10-7, you have to take an olive oil like shower live on the air. Like just someone's
I'll
got to
do
just
I'll literally go and buy the
Or-
biggest.
yeah, just pour it all over you like live on the show.
I'll get
10-7
the
New
good
York
quality
Jets.
stuff. No, Graza olive oil. That's the best one. That's the one that's all cute and in that green squeeze bottle. I'll buy the biggest one at Costco and dump it all over myself.
I love it. All right.
Yeah, I would love it.
Halloween weekend. What are we doing, Ariel Nash? You're dressed up as a winning Jets fan, we see.
Yes, I was a winning, proud Jets fan. Yes. I have to work tomorrow at 6 a.m. So I'm going to be in bed at 8, and that's my Halloween. So fun.
Hell yeah.
I know. So
Sounds
fun.
magical. Well,
Great
great
time.
job. Winner, chicken dinner. Enjoy the
Yeah.
Raisin Canes.
Thank you. Bye, Jake.
Let's
Let's go
go.
to eat a damn snack.
And breakdowns, bites and breakdowns. Ariel Nash, check out our YouTube channel. I mean, next week, Jets playing the Browns. I don't know what Cleveland is known for food-wise. I've been to Cleveland before. I always like to try and guess what Ariel's going to be preparing for her channel every week. What's Cleveland known for food-wise? This one from Dave Briga. Ariel reminds me of my high school girlfriend, only she's much nicer. That one went bad. Dave, we need you to call in and explain what happened with you and your high school girlfriend. I feel like that'd be a great story to discuss over the bye week here. All right, hit the like button if you guys are just tuning in. Reminder, we got a sick giveaway here on a Football Friday. Jets Legends jersey, Joe Namath, Joe Klecko, Curtis Martin, Wayne Corbett, Darrell Revis, and the great Nick Mangold. If you call in with a costume on, you get a raffle ticket as well, and you're entered in the weekly raffle to win a signed Justin Fields jersey, signed Wayne Corbett jersey, and our top prize, a signed Nick Mangold football. It's Halloween. I'm dressed up as Skinny Rex. First show today, I went as Fat Rex. This show, going with Skinny Rex. It's funny how as the Jets lost, or as Rex lost weight, the Jets also lost more games. Funny how that works. It's like when CeCe Sabathia lost weight. That one spring training and then was terrible to start the year. Some guys just are better when they're fatter. So any of you fat people out there, if anyone's trying to fat shame you, just say, I perform better in my day-to-day life when I'm at my fattest. All right? Why do you think Beast Breaker looks like the way he does?
Abracadoodle.
You can't win 87 world titles if you're skinny. You got to look like Beast. That's how it's done.
I got gas right now.
All right. A year ago on this day, the New York Jets won a football game. They beat the Houston Texans, and Garrett Wilson made the greatest catch any of us will probably ever see. So, in honor of the 1-year anniversary of that game, I'm about to play you the Asmaniac recap from that epic night. And then when we come back, let's get to your calls because it's a Football Friday and I want to see some costumes, people. Hit it.
Okay, Bobby, my friend.
I told you I'd be here. Of
course.
So how long does it take to get to
5 minutes, we're gonna be there with all the crew, Bobby.
Yeah, I know. We get the big stuff. Thank you, sir. What team do you like in football?
Get your feet in, Bob.
Well, that girl was hot that took us. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm Michael.
I'm fine.
You're getting emotional, guys. She's doing great. Too bad Carly won't be here. Damn. Am I gonna be able to walk?
I was gonna clean my room until I got high.
Yeah, I love you guys.
Bobby Midnight.
Oh yeah. Who's the stars and bright stars through the peril of flight? We're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare may prove to the night that the flag was still there. Of the sea, yeah, go Jets, baby! We will rock you, so Bobby.
No points yet. That's 6, because now they're going to score maybe on the other side, yeah. Hey, the Yes Maniacs, we're here to save the day. Is it back on? 5 and 6 at the bye? Then you're saying it could happen. You did it. And it wasn't easy with the Jets. But wins a win. And we're on. And we're on. So how was the game, Bobby? Did you
A plus, we won. We got, what's his name?
Yeah, I'm done.
Closing down jet life.
I love Nick Shine. Aaron Martins, where you going? Hopefully, are we going with Bobby?
It's like the scene at the end of The Longest Yard.
Proud New York Jet fan Nick Shine here, chiming in with Noel here. Sweet Cheeks is their code name. Fantastic. Coming over, giving Bobby and Mike love.
I hope you going back to where you live, New Jersey and New York.
I'm from Queens. I was born and raised, but I went to
You're from Queens?
I'm from Queens. I love you guys.
Love you too. You're the best too, right?
Yes,
Gator.
Let's get a jet. Let's get a jet.
Go get him, Jet.
Gonna win, baby. Give me this cup.
Bobby Midnight. Bobby Midnight. I am Brad. I watch the channel. Can I take a picture with you? Is that your boyfriend? Is my girlfriend? Can I take a picture with you?
Mikey, don't touch, Mikey.
I love you. I know you're beautiful.
Remember, all right, what's their YouTube?
I have it on my.
No, I already told you. What's the YouTube?
I'm drunk.
Oh, that's my. Oh, she's very pretty. No, I'm not. I'm
Bobby Midnight. What time did you meet him?
I got it.
What time did you meet him?
12:14.
Midnight. Midnight. Bobby Midnight. Just remember midnight.
I told everyone we'll have floor, but the referee took that away.
Guys, he's the fucking one.
All right, Bobby and Mike, you guys head back to the hotel. It's time to film a new episode of Crankbangers. Race is on.
Bobby Midnight. Bobby Midnight. Oh, come on.
So long, farewell. Ciao, arrivederci, au revoir, and bon voyage. Sayonara, I'll be the same. Farewell, farewell, and adieu, my Spanish ladies. Farewell to you. Until the next time we meet. Goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Happy Halloween a year ago today. The Jets dressed up as a winning team, at least that night. Garrett Wilson dressed up as Superman because still, greatest catch I've ever seen. Any of us probably will ever see. Just unreal. And I called it, by the way, in real time that I thought he got the knee in because I knew the rule. Knee equals 2 feet. Unreal. All right, open phone lines. Right now, we only got one person on hold, meaning if you call in, you don't have to wait long. Also, if you call in wearing a costume, you get a raffle ticket, and you get a chance to win a Jets jersey at the end of the show. Mangold, Revis, Corbett, Curtis, Klecko, Joe Willie. To our only caller to start off a new segment, Doug on the bed. Hello, Doug.
Out of the darkness, too.
That's right. Look at you.
I dressed up as a guy drinking beer. It's a pretty easy costume. I just went to my fridge and grabbed a beer.
Homer Simpson? So you?
Yeah. No, but listening to what you and Nick were saying, like with the Robert Saleh stuff at first, he did everything to himself. Like it wasn't anyone's fault. But hindsight is probably should have hired him after 2023, but the injury saved him, like you said. If they fire him after 2023, they probably have Vrabel as the head coach right now, and we're feeling a lot better about the team than we are right now, or most people. But they felt to keep him because he had the injury. It's like, oh, you can't say Saleh was a problem. There was a Rodgers injury. You got to see what it was like with Rodgers healthy, and that's how everything, led us to where we are now. Or that was the last thing to lead us to where we are now. Not everything. There was a bunch of stuff before that, but I think you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest what if in Jet history is if Aaron Rodgers didn't go down and miss the entire season, because that team in 2023 was infinitely better from a roster standpoint than what happened in 2024. You had obviously just an unreal regression of Zerline, which was the biggest problem at the beginning of last year. Games. Yeah, no JFM. Yeah, it was a huge problem.
Yeah, I mean, and then Joe Douglas just gutted the team. I don't know what he was thinking, and just gutted the core of the team. They gave JFM away for nothing, and that's what started it all. It just, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest what ifs. The other biggest what if is what if Rex never got lap band.
Honestly, great point. If Rex never got skinny, What would have happened for the New York Jets?
I mean, that Fat Rex was incredible. Greatest coach of my lifetime for the Jets. Because I don't remember, like I'm 28, so I kind of remember her, but most of my vague, prominent Jet memories of that are the Rex years and Fat Rex, man, sexy Rexy. And then he chose to get lap band, and then he couldn't eat anything the size of an egg or bigger than an egg, and then all went downhill from there.
Yeah, it's amazing how that it timed up with that happening, man. I mean, and Rex to this day, he looks great. You know,
Yeah. The thing I'll remember about Rex years, the thing I'll remember like when it was done, or like when it all started, the crashing point of it all was the Tebow game. That's when it all started crashing. Like when Tebow came back, like when Tebow Mania run, they had a big lead in the fourth quarter, and then Tebow did the stupid Tebow stuff again. That's when it all started crashing again.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the problem with the end of the Rex era was once the roster started to get old and deteriorate, Sanchez never took the next step in his development as a franchise quarterback, right? He was obviously carried by the great teams the first 2 years. He improved in 2011, but they finished 8-8 after they were 8-5. You had the meltdown in Miami with Holmes and him. I mean, really, Barbarossa just hinted at it. Losing that Giants game, the Victor Cruz game, that was the turning point of the whole Rex Ryan era.
I will say though, like in serious, my biggest what if is what if the Jets stopped the 3rd and 6 on the Steelers play in the AFC Championship game? Because I think every Jet fan is confident if they got the ball, they were going to go down and the field and score. And I mean, there's no way to prove it, but I felt so good about beating the Packers that year. I think the Jets team would have beaten that Packers team because they played earlier in that year and it was only like 9. And the Packers won 9-3, or it was like it's just defensive. That's the biggest what if to me as a Jets fan. What if they stopped that 3rd and 6 pass play or whatever it was?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's totally fair. I think I've always felt if the Jets got the ball back, they're winning the game because the offense was on fire in that second half. And Sanchez was, say whatever you want about him, clutch that entire season. How many big games did the Jets win, at the very end with a game-winning drive with that offense?
He did it in the wild card round that year against the Colts, and then they didn't need to do it because they dominated that Patriots win will always be it's sad that that's my favorite memory as a Jets fan because it's been, 15 plus years since that now. But that is, as to this day, is my favorite memory as a Patriots, especially growing up with Patriots fans as a family. So rubbing that in was a great moment. But you felt so good. You think, oh my God, we took down the Patriots. We're gonna beat the Steelers because we beat them earlier that year. We in the blizzard, we had the safety. There was a comeback. So the Steelers this year. You feel good about the matchup, and they just came out so flat to start. But pain that and you knew, like, again, there's no way of ever proving it, but I felt so good about going against the Packers, and it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll never know. The one thing that I think about though, right? If they had, let's say, beat the Steelers and got to the Super Bowl, and then they capped it off by beating the Packers, you think about the run the Jets would have went on, the quarterbacks they played to winning that second Super Bowl in franchise history, first and Brady, name it. It'd be the greatest run of all time. They would have went through every round a different Hall of Fame quarterback: Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers. Those are 4 of the top 10 to 15 quarterbacks ever, right there.
And then Aaron Rodgers would never have a Super Bowl, or Aaron Rodgers could never have a Super Bowl at that rate, which is crazy to think. But man, yeah, that's my. I know, I'm getting off tangent from the other stuff, but if there's another caller on, you can kick me. But no, that was like my biggest what if, because I know we suck. And then it would be what if Rodgers didn't blow up his Achilles 4 plays into the season, because I mean everyone was bought in after Hard Knocks. The team was looking so good. You heard it from like all the reporters, the Connor Hughes, everyone who's there in the offseason. This team looks legit. The Wilson to Rodgers connection is there, and it just. And then the third one would be what if Mike White didn't get decleated and his ribs didn't explode against the Bills, because I think they would have beaten the Lions. And then, but yeah,
I agree. Doug, great call, man.
Have a happy Halloween, Jake.
Happy Halloween, baby. Go get some snacks, people.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Oh man, yeah, it's there's a lot of what ifs. What if Brett Favre? Someone just wrote it. What if Brett Favre never got injured with the Jets at 8-3? That team in 08 was ready to win a Super Bowl. That's why Sanchez had success as a rookie, or the Jets had team success, because the roster was outstanding. Obviously there's a huge what if with Vinny T's Achilles in week 1 of 99. I mean, that team was coming off leading 10-0 in the AFC Championship game in Denver. The what if with Rodgers, the what if with Mike White. What if they traded out of the number 2 pick and took Jamar Chase and stuck with Sam Darnold? There's a lot of unknowns. The pain of being a fan of this team, man. Eli Best, biggest what if is what if Rodgers hugs Saleh instead of shoving him. Hashtag power of friendship.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Ha. Oh, man. Hey, by the way, Eli, I just got an email from UPS that my package that I sent to you was delivered. So I forget what you won. I know you won something, but check your mail. It should be there. All right, to your calls we go. ISU is on the line. Hello, ISU.
Happy Halloween. Alan still sucks.
Ladies and gentlemen, ISU. Thank you.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Now, if someone knows what he was dressed up as, please let me know. But that is an epic costume there. An epic call. And that is a raffle ticket right there. Is that what movie is that? Someone in the chat will know it. Great costume. Hold on, ISU still on the line. ISU, what movie is that?
Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks. Okay.
See you guys.
Well done. Great call. That's awesome. Mars Attacks. Emmanuel says that's 2 tickets worthy. If the chat agrees, I'm in. Love that. Well done. Barbarossa, Sean Green putting the ball on the turf and going to sleep after the touchdowns, an all-timer for me. And Rex was so excited he ran on the field with them in the end zone celebrating. We're giving him 2. ISU, you're getting 2 for that one. Well done, sir. 2 tickets. Hell yeah. All right, more calls right now. We only got one more person on hold. Macho's next. What's up, Macho?
How's it going, man? Long time no see.
What's going on, man?
First things first, ISU, amazing costume. Definitely deserve 2 tickets, possibly 3. I'll just throw it out there. Also, I've seen those videos from your tailgates. How often do you throw tailgates? Is it like a once a year per thing, or?
We do a big tailgate like that, like an organized thing where we all then sat in the same section. That's a once a year thing for a home game. We also did it for a road game every year. So this past year we did Tampa. So we do one organized home and road. And there's other games I've been to as well. This year it's tricky for me because I work till noon. So getting the MetLife has been tough because I'm on the radio from 8 to noon on Sundays. But like a lot of times I'll say, hey, I'm going to be tailgating here, and a bunch of listeners come meet up and we all congregate and hang out together. But an actual like organized tailgate, like what that was, Macho, that's one for a home game and one for a road game.
Nice. Oh, damn. So you were there for that Tampa game when we almost won. Yeah. Right there. Oh, man.
But we were there. We were definitely there.
Did you dance with him? Did you dance with Aaron Glenn?
I didn't even know he did it, to be honest.
Oh, you didn't get to. Oh, yeah. You were just celebrating in the moment.
It was just crazy. Like, you didn't know what happened.
Oh, my God. All right. So I wanted to talk about some trade ideas. But the issue that I'm having here is I feel like the only person that we can trade to where we can get something back that's really worthwhile is the person that I don't want to get rid of, and that'd be Quinnen Williams. I feel like he'd be the only person where we could get something big, like a couple of seconds or even maybe a first, depending on the team. How do you feel about that?
Let's see. I guess it depends on the return.
Depends on the return, right? Yeah. I feel like that for everybody, though.
Anyone, I'll listen to anyone. I don't think the Jets are going to be able to get equal value for what they would want to move a Brees or Quinnen, Jermaine, McDonald. I really don't think it's going to be that active of a deadline. The player to watch is Quincy, because if they've already determined there's no way they could pay him and they could get something for him, even if it's a 5th, they might do it. But they kind of need him because
we need him, man.
Jamie and Sherwood's not having a good year. You got a rookie in Malagoa, and I think they're going to try and win games. And they know Sherwood's going to help them win games. He's a good player.
Yeah, and with Sherwood, I mean, we do have a potential out after 2027. So, I mean, after 2026, so in 2027, because I think his hard cap is only $6 million. So, God forbid he doesn't turn it up within the ending of this year or next year we could even trade him possibly next year, where his contract isn't as hard to move as it would be, let's say, this year. But with Quinnen Williams, I think he's the only person where we would potentially get something worthwhile. With those other people, like you said, we're getting like fourths or worse. At that point, it makes no sense to even really move them, unless it's someone like a Quincy where we know in advance we're not going to pay him.
Yeah, I think Quincy is in all likelihood not here. That said, I don't think you just give him away unless you like could justify it. Like even if you're going to lose him, you could play the comp pick game. I don't know what contract he'd be projected to get, but I just don't think it's worth trading Quincy if I could just get like a 6th round pick. Like I'd rather just keep him and try and see if like this coaching staff could really show improvement, turning around, all that.
Yeah, and then the easiest trade was kind of already said, but Alan Lazard to the Steelers. I'd be willing to take a chopped cheese and a book of stamps, or it doesn't even matter. Just give us anything at this point.
I'll drive him to the airport now. I mean, seriously,
we could carpool. I'll pay for gas.
I love it. Are you based in New York or LA? Because I know you're a Lakers fan.
So I'm from New York, but I actually live in North Carolina right now.
Oh, cool.
Yes, sir. And then Rex Ryan was obviously the highlight of my Jet life. Literally,
I think for anyone around our age, I mean, those 2 runs to the championship game, I mean, that was the best.
Hard Knocks, let's get a damn snack, legendary shit.
Yep. and honestly, that era of Jets football has aged in a positive light because it's been so bad since. So like we're dying for the days of just having a chance like those teams did.
Yearning for it, basically. Yeah, I just started a YouTube page a couple of months ago, and the very first video I ever made was just a Jet life based, my life as a Jet fan, a little bit of Jet history in it, but it was a lot focused on those Rex years because those were just like the highlights. Obviously, it was that Darrelle Revis was my favorite. Darrelle Revis and Nick Mangold was kind of tied hand for hand because those are the 2 constants where we coming from the Jets, like we don't really have any player that we could cling on to that we could say was a constant professional and also just great at their job throughout the whole career. And those 2 were those players for me, where it's like we had some players that came in that were pretty good and then had some bad years. Those 2 were just amazing throughout.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I mean, look, those teams were stacked if you go back and look at it. And you know what's an underrated aspect of the Rex teams? Look at the coaching staff that Rex had. And he was one thing I loved about Rex, he was smart enough to keep Schottenheimer and Westhoff and realize those guys are good coaches. I don't need to bring in my own coaches everywhere. But he was smart. Bill Callahan, he kept around. Like the job Rex did, just knowing what he didn't know and surrounding himself with really good coaches is why, in large part, beyond just they had really good players, they had really good coaches, man. They had a lot of future head coaches on those staffs too. Callahan was a former head coach. Pettin ended up being a head coach. Anthony Lynn, who was the running backs coach for the Jets, he ended up being a head coach in the league. Schottenheimer's now finally, after all these years, a head coach. Like they had a really good staff of guys who had a lot of success in the NFL.
100%. And I think he's one of those people that I feel like you knew that he wanted us to succeed, not just because obviously it's his job, but also he cared about the franchise. And I kind of feel that with AG. I feel like there's not very many outcomes that I can see us getting rid of AG year 1, especially after giving him a 5-year contract, especially since we are the New York Jets. People want to get rid of him as if there's going to be a bunch of head coaches just lining up to come here. There's a stigma that comes with the Jets, unfortunately. And I think AG is one of those people that I believes in us and wants to see us actually succeed because we're the Jets and not just because this is his job.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I think that all that is great. It's still, we have to judge everything based on, how they look and can they win games, right? But like part of the reason I think a lot of us, like Rex really loved being the Jet coach, right? Part of the reason why we loved Glenn, or at least the idea of him being the guy that could like turn it around, is that he understands the history of the team. He was here for the darkest of times and saw what it could look like when you get the right people in place. That's what like that locker room celebration, who wants to fly like a Jet, like that's a reminder of why, like, we're all still rooting for Aaron Glenn because he's a Jet, like, and he wants this job. But we also can't like put lipstick on a pig. It was really bad the first 7 games, and now they have a win, and let's see if they can build on it.
100%. Do you think there's anyone that would be a head candidate as soon as we let him go, if we had to let him go at the end of this year? Like, is there a prime candidate, or is just a couple of names that you'd be okay with?
Who I would want?
Yeah, for you specifically.
Well, there's anyone with an offensive background and someone that's
Okay.
been a head coach before. So to me, Mike McCarthy, Cliff Kingsbury, I would absolutely look into Kevin Stefanski if the Browns fire him and they blow it up there. He's been a 2-time coach of the year in Cleveland. Like I need an
Yeah.
offensive guy. We're taking a quarterback. And if they were to fire Glenn, it means they're probably picking first in the draft because they probably finished with 1 or 2 wins if they fire him. So I need an offensive guy if it gets that bad again.
Do you think any of those guys would want to come here after us firing a coach the year after we signed him to a 5-year contract?
I think so because you have $75 million in cap space and you get to pick your quarterback, and the roster is not bereft of talent. That's why I think I'd be so just disgusted if they ended up finishing with the worst record in the league. This is not a worst record in the league roster. This is not a
Not at all.
1-7 roster right now. They should be better.
100%. 100%. There was a couple of games where the ball bounces a different way, could have went our way, but ultimately we put ourselves in those positions where we shouldn't have been in those positions. I think that Tampa Bay game, we just had to stop them from getting into field goal position. We could not do that. Same thing with the Steelers. So obviously we had the fumble and the special teams that caused that turnover, but then ultimately we had to stop them from getting in field goal position again to end the game, and we just could not do that. And it's a little simple stuff like that turns the tide of the whole season, basically.
100%. I mean, the London game, coaching, man. Put in Tyrod Taylor at halftime, you win that one too. Like there's a lot of those, but that's what bad teams do, right? Like we lament, oh, we were this. It's like you have to win. That's why. And notice the conversation this week. We've been highlighting the positives. The defense didn't play well for most of that game, but you know what? They got the big stop at the end. They get credit for that. So like you have to win, man. The best teams in the league win. That's all that matters. You win. It doesn't have to look pretty, but you got to win.
Completely agree. Thank you for having me on, man.
Good call, Macho. Keep calling in, man. And I will subscribe to your channel as well. That's awesome. Great setup. I value callers who have great setups with their speakers, their mics, all that. And then sometimes you get people that call in and you barely even see their face because it's tucked in like that.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course.
Not naming any names, though, obviously. Hey, it's Halloween. And the former interim head coach of the New York Jets is on the line. Coach Oglick is next. Hello, Coach.
What's up, Jake? What's up, everybody? Good to see you.
Excited to watch you go up against the Jets in a few weeks.
I'm expecting a Jets win. I will be throwing the game in case anybody wants any insider betting, FanDuel. I definitely am going to call, zero coverage at the end. That's my plan. This is the beard in full action, or really in season action. I know earlier we had the awards for beards, and mine was not looking like award-winning beard. It's starting to get there now.
Looks pretty good to me.
Thank you, sir. I'm excited. I'm going to the Cleveland game. I specifically picked it because I thought we'd have the best chance of winning. And then New Orleans later in the year. So got my fingers crossed to finally see a Jets win. It's been since December of 2023 since I've seen an in-person Jets win. I am due. I'm overdue. The cost per win on my side is ridiculous at this point. I am jealous of all of you who live close again, who can just go to the secondary ticket market anytime you want, spend $7 to $11 to see a Jets game. That's super cool. All right, here's my point. Well, happy Halloween. My point is Woody's comments about a week ago. I don't think he was the master manipulator. I think that was a really funny take on it. I've been thinking about that since you said it. Like, did he say that to motivate the team? I think he's too dumb of a leader. I think he is an owner with zero leadership ability. He should hire a leadership coach. And if you were available as the director of common sense, you wouldn't have enough time in the day to help him. I don't know if you could.
Well, I'll tell you what. Woody Johnson has too many people around him that just let him say whatever, and no one ever says it's not a good idea. His brother really has to be the one to step in and be like, enough, stop. Like, because his brother actually is well-spoken and has a lot of positive, a lot of people say a lot of positive things about Chris Johnson. So I'm with you. And look, I kid with the the master motivator stuff. Like that was not Woody's intent at all. He just ran his mouth, and it actually worked. But like that's such a low blow thing for an owner to do. You can't have that. Like that hurts the Jets when they're trying to get a free agent and the money's equal. Are they going to go to you or go to the other team? Or, oh, Jake, it's all about money. Great. So now we have to overpay because there's a Woody Johnson tax, and that hurts you too. So it's just that type of stuff can't happen. Like an owner cannot berate the starting quarterback of the team, no matter how bad he's playing. Like it's ridiculous. And I give Fields a lot of credit for how he played and Glenn for holding the team together and getting them to buy in and play. But like that was insane. Like that should never happen.
I agree. That was going to be my exact follow-up is what is he doing? He's undermining the coach and the new regime. He's making it more difficult for them to woo former players, top tier players, just quality folks to come over when they could be, quite frankly, the laughing stock. Like they make the front page or the back page because the owner says something dumb. I don't know how we combat that. I'm not sure we really can. I don't buy season tickets. So this is out of my control. And again, to what you've said before is you're not going to tell folks how to spend their money and be a great Jets fan. I buy secondary tickets every time I come there. So I just pick the games. I go to the ones I want, and I'm always overpaying every time. It's unfortunate. I will say this, I'm still I'm sticking with my over 5.5, and I still will. And you could take receipts, folks. And I hope I'm not wrong, right? Y'all are winning, hoping for the Jets to win also. However, the reason I say that is because I actually see some improvement. I think you and other guests have said it and pointed it out exactly what it is. Here are the things that we can see development-wise, from coaching staff to the general manager pulling in new talent and some of these trades, going in the right direction, culminating in a win before the bye. Happy for the team and the coach. Really do need to come out on fire here. Like, I am concerned that the Cleveland defensive line with a first-round rookie and Myles Garrett, the all-pro, is going to feast. Justin Fields needs, 3 to 5 seconds to process and throw? I don't know. Game plan better be get the ball out fast or run game or run at the blitz. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but there is no wide receiver on the Browns that scares me. They've got some tight ends there that worry the heck out of me. We love to give it up to the tight end. I hope they're game planning right now. I hope they're not trick-or-treating with their kids. That should be canceled right now for the Jets coaching. They should be figuring out how to get our players in the best position.
Amen. Coach, appreciate it. Great call. I hope you're right. I hope they win and keep showing improvement. But just like you, I have a lot of doubts. I think this Browns game is going to be massive.
See you all next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Oakley.
Let's go eat a damn snack.
That man lives in Santa Clara and travels so far to see the Jets play. God, I want him to see a win badly. Solo says, Jake, you're looking like Rex right now. Yeah, that's kind of the point. It's Halloween, baby. Happy Rexoween. Yeah. You don't see underneath where my name normally is. It says Rex Ryan. I went as Fat Rex on the first show. I put the pillow in my stomach and all that. But now I'm just going with Skinny Rex for the second show today. So I switched up my costumes between shows. Emmanuel, I saw your comments here. So the cruise is currently on hold due to not enough confirmed participants. So the travel company we were working with, we had to unfortunately put it on hold just because the team started to lose. We didn't get enough guaranteed signups that took advantage of that special we did before week 1. So not saying it's dead completely because I haven't been told, but the Gangrene Legends cruise we had planned, unfortunately, with the Jets being bad, people didn't, get all excited and want to do it. So we will see. Let's get to more of your calls, shall we? Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is where we continue to head before we wrap up our show. And we say hello to this guy.
Purple Belt Mike, he loves the Dark Knight. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that Purple Belt Mike. Purple Belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Yo, I'm getting overrun by trick-or-treaters, but my biggest what if is what if Mo Lewis never hurt Drew Bledsoe? Happy Halloween, everybody.
Oh, I love it. Where's your costume?
I don't have a costume. I got just my my shirt on.
Come on.
I got a bunch of kids coming up. I'll catch you later. See you
All
guys.
right.
Happy
Trick or
Halloween,
treat.
everybody.
Trick or treat,
Let's go to
baby.
eat a damn snack.
PBM giving out candy for the youth. Mike says, did you wear the Rex costume all day? No, I took it off between shows. Because like this sticker, I explained it on the first show, way too big. I should have got one that's smaller. I didn't realize. Because like the actual like Rex Jet logo on the vest is way smaller, but there's that. Mr. Glick, Coach Olbrich says, how much fun was it watching the Dolphins get blown out yesterday? Yeah, they stink, man. But it also doesn't piss you off as a Jet fan we lost to that team? You know? Roseanne says, PBM dressed as a depressed Jet fan. So you mean every day? If the Jets had lost to the Bengals, I was going to wear a bag on my head for the entire show. I had the bag ready to go from our watch party on Sunday when the Jets were down 10-0 at 17-3. I put on my brown bag over my head, and I was fully expecting the Jets to lose. And then Justin Fields said, not so fast. And then Aaron Glenn said, oh, yeah? Here comes our first win, baby.
First win!
And the Jets are 1-7. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. We have 26 entries in our raffle for a Jets legend jersey of your choosing. Joe Namath, Joe Klecko, Curtis Martin, Wayne Corbett, Darrell Revis, Nick Mangold. Of course, the 7 players you could choose from. I'm going to gift the membership right now. Get somebody else in the raffle here. You guys always are the absolute best, so I want to pay it forward. So I'm going to gift the membership. If you get it, you're in the raffle for both the jersey and our 3 weekly prizes as well. So a gifted membership is about to be fired off. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been fired off. Who got it? Let's find out.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Listener video Matt is a new channel member. Video Matt, I'll put you in the raffle for one. All right, last couple calls here. Remember, if you call in a costume, you do get a raffle ticket. Ladies and gentlemen, we head to a galaxy far, far away. Obi-Wan Kenobi is next. Hello, Obi-Wan.
Hello there, Asmaniacs. How are we doing today? So,
Obi-Wan Barbarossa.
So I was sensing a disturbance in the force. Maybe somebody released like a lot of gas. Is there any way we could? Is there any way we could go to Beastbreaker?
You said something about gas. Huh?
Is he on?
Gas right now. Oh,
Yeah. I'm sensing a disturbance.
He's not currently on right now, unfortunately.
That's the disturbance. That's what it is. Yeah. So, just wanted to say this has been a great week. We got a bye, so we can enjoy the victory a little bit more. Pretty cool about that. So for the victory, I decided to take the Kyber crystal out of my normal lightsaber, and I borrowed Qui-Gon Jinn's to make it green.
Hey.
So, yeah. So that's for the Jets. Yeah, we don't usually get all the games out in the Outer Rim with the asteroids and the Sith Lords and shit like that. But
yeah,
my biggest what if is what if Darth Maul just ran over Anakin in Episode 1? Then we wouldn't have this horrible galaxy and all that stuff.
Good point.
Probably no Bill Belichick either. Definitely no
Yep.
Bill Belichick without Darth Vader. So
Woody Johnson wouldn't own the
that's,
Jets either. So yeah.
Definitely not. We'd probably have like I don't know, like Jeff Bezos' wife owning the Jets, and we'd have like 7 Super Bowls or something like that. All right. I just wanted to call and say what up and happy Halloween to everybody. Just enjoy it, do your thing, and long live the Force and go Jets.
May the Force be with you, Obi-Wan Barbarossa.
Let's go. May the Force be with you guys.
Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets!
Great costume. Barbarossa, I'm giving you a second raffle ticket for that one. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and that is a great costume right there. Love that one. Love that one. PBM says put Roseanne in the raffle. Roseanne, PBM giving you a membership. Hey now. By the way, Nightmare Before Christmas, best Halloween movie ever. PBM, while giving out trick-or-treaters candy. Check it in. All right. Potentially our last call here. And then we'll do the raffle for a Jets jersey. Sean, you're next. Hello, Sean.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up, Sean?
Oh, I was just thinking the other day, and I told the wife, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna call in today and see what Jake's thoughts are on this. So we've been talking about Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji. We don't trust them to pick the next quarterback if they don't turn this thing around and all that, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, my thought process has been if they're going to finish with a worse record in football with a team that should not be anywhere close to the worst team in football, why would we give them the keys to now handpick and develop a quarterback when they've proven with a team that shouldn't be this bad that they were horrible? So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I was just thinking, I was like, we've all said we know what Justin Fields is, and maybe, just maybe, and this is just a thought, it's like, hey, we know Justin Fields isn't like this superstar quarterback killing it all the time, but if we can develop him or give them a quarterback to start trying to develop, that it's like a test run, right, before they get to draft their quarterback.
Well, who would that be?
Huh?
Which player are you referring to?
Justin Fields.
But that's kind of what they're doing now, though, right?
Exactly.
They're giving him this year to prove if he could be their long-term answer. They hyped him up. They said he's never been coached properly. We're going to let him play quarterback, all this and that. And while it looked great week one, from that point on, Justin Fields was bad for most of this year until this past game. He had this unbelievable game out of nowhere.
But what I'm saying is that it's the coaching staff, and I could it could be just a dumb take, but I'm just saying that this is their like dry run, Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji trying to develop someone so that they could I guess make their mistakes, figure out what works in developing a quarterback, what doesn't, so that when the time came for them to get their legit quarterback, okay, we've already gone through this process. Now we can actually do it and do the things that worked the year prior. Does that make sense?
I think you're looking too much into the dry run thing. I think what's happened here is they believed in Justin Fields. He was their choice. I think their mistake was their messaging on what the expectations were for him, at least publicly. They kind of put themselves in a terrible spot by saying he's never been coached properly and we're going to let him play quarterback. And Muji made the comparison to Darnold and Baker and their career renaissances when they found the right team. It's not a good look for the staff that Fields had to be benched. And it's not a good look for Glenn in particular when he was so defiant in not ever benching the guy. And then 2 quarters later, he ends up benching him, right? So we'll see. I mean, if Fields plays great over these next 9 games, it changes the whole tenor of the conversation. But unfortunately, the story about Justin Fields has been he has flashes of greatness and then is not good enough. And we've seen that firsthand as Jet fans.
It's probably just my fandom trying to find a way to justify the terribleness that we've seen. So, but hey, I wanted to thank you for this. I've been wanting to get on and thank you for this for months now. I won this in a raffle a couple months ago.
Is that the Justin Fields helmet?
That's the Justin Fields helmet.
So that's why you're so invested in Fields, though, Sean. You don't want that helmet to go to waste.
Yeah, and the wife lets me keep it in the living room, even though we're so terrible. It's pretty cool. So, but yeah, man, I appreciate all you do, and yeah, I'm just letting my fandom get in the way of the true colors here, I guess.
Hey, we're all crazy fans. But Sean, what is your normal YouTube name, though?
It's just Sean Cora or Humble Rise. I'm Humble Rise in the Discord. Because I'm in the Discord chat. But I can't change it back for some reason. I don't know. It's a pain.
Well, it's good to put a face to the name, man. I appreciate you calling in. And look, I hope Justin Fields plays great, and then that helmet is like super valuable, and it gets a prime real estate spot in your house for years to come.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, man. Have a great Halloween.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sean checking in.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
All right, one more call here. We got a legend on the line, folks. Uncle Rico. Close us out, Uncle.
Jake, just called in. Man, you should have seen me back in 1985. Could have thrown a football over the mountains over there. You know, we got to get back, brother. Tell him.
I don't know him.
All right. Well, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. And just getting my time machine in tomorrow. So I'm going to test it out. Let you know how it works out, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Uncle Rico.
Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets!
Thunder Lips, you're the man. Great comment. My mic was on mute. I think you knew Thunder Lips was going to bring it. You just knew he was. We'll give him 2 tickets for that one also. That's a great costume. Uncle Rico, love that. Thunder Lips, you're the man. Thank you for calling in and blessing us with that costume. Oh, that's spectacular. All right, I'm putting together the raffle names as we speak. So if you want in, this is your last chance to get in. Ladies and gentlemen, a Jets Legends jersey is up for grabs. Also, I should have plugged this at the beginning of the show. I forgot. It is Halloween, so this is the last day you have to be able to enter the Asmaniac raffle. Or I can't speak right now. My mind is fried. This is the last day you have to join my Patreon, I meant to say. If you want your name to be included when we update the list of names in the intro, the little countdown ticker that plays where we thank all the Patreon folks. So we update it once a month. Make sure you join before the end of October, which is midnight tonight. Just go to patreon.com/Jake Asman Show, and you'll see. It's also linked in the description if you forget. All right. You know what we need to do now. I know what we need to do now. We need to spin the wheel of champions.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Oh, the prizes today are epic. Jets Legends jersey. You pick the player out of the 7 options, and we send it to you. But you have to email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, should you win, your name, your address, the player whose jersey you want, and the size. Again, thank you to everyone who supports the show and everyone who entered today's raffles. But only one Asmaniac can win today. And right now, we find out who your winner is. Your winner of the Jets jersey is Frank P. Shout out to Frank. He's done it again. Hit the Jet chant for Frank. Frank, thank you, man. Appreciate all you do for the channel. Glad that you won. You won a Mangold jersey. Hold on. Spencer Green, you're not in. You go, wait, am I in the raffle? Well, did I send my chat? There was no chat from you. I didn't see a super chat from you, Spencer. Well, I don't think I entered. You did not enter, Spencer, but don't worry. There'll be more shows for you to enter as we continue. Again, thanks to everyone who watched. Hope everyone has a great Halloween. Stay safe out there. If you're trick-or-treating, enjoy. If your kids are trick-or-treating, have a great time with them. We will talk to you guys probably Monday. With the bye week, I'm probably not going to do a show tomorrow or Sunday. I am on the radio on Sunday, though, with Tannenbaum from 8 to noon. So if you want to tune in and hear Mike and I talk about the Jet win, talk about Nick Mangold, I'm sure, we'll be doing that and breaking down all the other games Sunday morning on ESPN New York. So you'll hear from me on Monday. Enjoy a stress jet-free weekend. Enjoy the other games, knowing that the Jets can't lose. How about that for a concept? Anyway, love all of you. Go Jets. Talk to you guys soon. And I play you out with something that needs to be played. Enjoy. Go Jets.
Give us a little moonwalk.
I can't. I got the ankle. Oh, do you not know what happened?
No, did something happen recently?
Yeah, when I was in New York, I got hit by a car.
Is there security footage of this? Can I play it on the show?
So they would probably have the footage. I mean, what am I going to do with it now?
Gator's already working on a production of this. So
yeah, I think that's why I didn't want to bring it up.
I'm going to play a drop, and then that's your cue to make a face. Like,
hold on. I just saw Gator's text. Gator's dropping part 5 of his Beast Breaker documentary on his YouTube channel right now. So go to Gator McCluskey on YouTube. Gator McCluskey Rules on YouTube. And you can check out the Beast Breaker Part 5 doc. Just saw Gator shot me a text about that. Anyway, I'm going to end the show. But, or you know what? Maybe I'm not. Beast just called in. Hey, Beast.
Anybody ready for a little, in the words of the great Rex Ryan, let's go get a snack.
Oh, yeah. You know what time it is. You tried to throw him away, but this man's coming back. Sometimes he's fat or thin. That waistband makes him slim. He's got the fix you need. They call him sexy Rexy.
Fuck Gruden, he's no jet. I'm here to crack some skulls. I'll turn these boys to men. This team is stacked with pros. Hire me, you won't break your purse. I'm here to break the curse. They call me sexy Rexy. Fuck all you naysayers.
Ooh, sexy. Ooh, he's such a Rexy, sexy. Ooh, he's such a Rexy, sexy. Ooh, he's such a Rexy, sexy. He's such a Rexy.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you gotta make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.